What's good, everybody? Deal, same time for a deal short. Before I get started, if you're in the Tampa area and you're looking for a really good cigar lounge, check out my man Will Golston's Cigar Lounge, Elena's. It's over here in the town and country area, not too far from Tampa Airport. The grand opening is Friday, April 4th, which is coming up. Um, so anyone watching this, if you're watching this on Team Replay, Friday, April 4th is the grand opening. If you're ever in the Tampa area and you want to go to a really cool, really grown up cigar lounge, this is the place, man. Come check him out. Elena's, if you want additional information, hit me up on Instagram and I'll send you all of the information for the spot. So that is an unpaid advertisement, by the way. I just did it because Will Golston, that's my guy. He's a good guy, and I want to help him out and be as successful as he can. So that's that. Now, let's get into what we want to talk about on this particular short. This is the diary of a CEO, and as you can see, that's Professor Scott Galloway. There's also another woman there who's an author. Not quite sure who she is, but they're talking about male and female dynamics. They're talking about the education system. They're talking about struggles of boys and they grow into men. This particular part right here, they're talking about dating and viability and what women look for and all that good stuff. And this is really interesting. I think, we should listen to this part right here, guys, because there is a lot going on out here in these streets. And there are a lot of guys out here who are suffering, and women are suffering too. Women aren't finding significant others, guys don't seem to have a skill set to get out there, or women don't find most men attractive. Let's listen to what they have to say.
And there's some data saying, okay, 2/3 of divorce can be reverse engineered to the man starting to make less money. When the woman in the relationship starts making more money, they become twice as likely to get divorced, 3 times as likely to use ED drugs because the guy loses a sense of purpose and self-esteem. What gets lost in that data is the reality is if a woman is stepping up and stepping into the economic void and being more economically, being a greater economic contributor, then logically it would make sense that men need to step up logistically. And I think what a lot of women are saying is like, okay, I'm not getting anything. You're no longer a provider. And by the way, you haven't filled that void. You haven't made up the delta. Mm-hmm. So there's some new.
Now, I'm not quite sure what he's alluding to. So what I'm taking from what he just said, and I could be wrong, Professor Galloway, if you happen to see this and I am wrong, correct me in the chat below, in the comments below. But guys not feeling the delta, so you're in a situation, you're in a relationship with a woman and she's the breadwinner, let's say she's making $150,000 a year and you're making what the average male makes, you're somewhere around, $60,000 a year. And he said the man's not making up the delta. Does that mean that he's not taking care of the home? Does that mean that he's not, picking up extra chores? Maybe he's cooking, maybe he's cleaning, maybe he's running the kids to soccer and to band and to all that stuff. What is it that he's not doing? What delta is he not feeling? If you're in a situation like that, guys, and your woman she out earns you, she works hard. Let's say she's an attorney, maybe she's an architect, she's CEO level, she's in the C-suite, whatever she's doing, she's working constantly. I would definitely step up and support her as much as I can. I would take on the role, make sure the house is good. I would make sure the kids are straight. And I would make sure that she's okay. I would make sure that she's not working herself too hard. I will let her know that, hey, if this gets to be too much, we can step down. We don't have to have this big house. We can go move somewhere else. You don't have to keep working that position if you don't want it. If you're hating your job, you can go and do something else and, we can figure it out. But a lot of people, that's not what happens. You get women out there who are powerful and they're like, you know what? I want to be a part of a power couple. I want a guy who's making as much as I am or more. I hear that a lot when I talk to women, like, I don't want to take care of a guy. I can do bad all by myself. That's what you hear. But you don't hear men saying that. As a man, I could go out here and find a beautiful woman who's dropping fries at McDonald's, or she's a barista at the local coffee joint, making $25,000 a year, when I bring her home, I'm not expecting her to make more money. I'm not expecting her to out earn me or earn as much as me. I'm just happy that we're together. She's, I vetted her. We went through the process. This is the woman for me. We're going to move forward. Men don't need that financial element. They don't need their significant other to make more than they do or as much as they do. Men don't need that. That's a female thing.
Around it. What also I think is important to say is that if women are better students and showing the discipline and the skills to go to college and an information economy and making more money, then okay, good on them. Just as for whatever reason men made more money, maybe it wasn't fair, but it's not a crime against humanity if women have the skills to make more money. What happens though is the second order effects that you're talking about, and that is, we don't like to talk about this, 75% of women say that economic viability is hugely important in a mate. Only 25% of men. For men, it's not a criteria. For women, it is. And Chris Williamson of the Modern Wisdom podcast, he has this great stat, or he calls it the high heels effect. And that is 50% of women say they won't date a man shorter than them. I'm curious what you think, but I think it's more like 80%. I think it's an embarrassing thing to say because just instinctively, women feel like they'll be vulnerable during gestation and they want someone they think physically could protect them. I just think it's hardwired into them even if they don't know it. Women metaphorically are getting taller every year, and women mate horizontally and up and men horizontally and down.
Right.
And when the pool of horizontal and up keeps shrinking, they just have, so this notion, a ton of great women, where are the men? Or there's no men. There's a lot of men, just not men they want to date.
Right.
And men,
Professor Scott Galloway, this guy's not of the red pill world. He's not part of the manosphere. He's not a men's rights activist, in the traditional sense. He's just looking at data. He's a professor. He's looking at data. He's, comparing that data to what he's seeing out there anecdotally. And what he just said is what I said before the clip ran. Women have to have that. So there's so many women that I come across out there in the trenches that'll say what they're saying here. Oh, there are no good men. We're all the good men. Well, if she's making $80, $90, $100,000 and up, yeah, for her, there's probably not a lot of good men that she wants. See, that's the key, that she wants. There are plenty of dudes out there, but she's not seeing the dude. Like, I see that woman dropping fries at McDonald's, but she's not seeing that dude who's managing that girl at McDonald's. She's not seeing that manager at Target or at Walmart. She's not seeing that guy who's out here, picking up the trash, making, $70,000, $80,000 a year, but he's a garbage man. She's not seeing him. Like, so, and there's nothing wrong with that. We want what we want. But I tell the sisters all the time, I'm like, look, you make over $100,000. That puts you like the top 14% of earners or something like that. The top 14%. And then if you couple that with the fact that you actually do want a guy who's taller than you, it's like, what? I got to have a guy who's 6 feet or taller. It's like 15% of Americans are 15% or 6 feet or taller, something like that. Either 14 or 15% of Americans, all Americans. So, ladies, I got to think this stuff through. If you want to go get the bag and you want to be independent, that's fine. But you're going to have to adjust somehow for your mate selecting, because there's only so many dudes making $100,000 or more. There are only so many dudes who are 6 feet or taller. And there are only so many dudes who are, handsome and socially in tune and charming. There's only so many dudes. Everyone else is a little awkward. Everyone else is out there trying to make it and they're doing their thing. That doesn't make them bad men. Right? They're good men. They're just not making all that money and they're just not that tall. Let's continue.
You speedball it with the guys who are in the top 10% can engage in Porsche polygamy. They can get a date every goddamn night, which does not encourage long-term or very good behavior. So the guys they all want are not incented to enter into long-term relationships. And the bottom half of men are literally shut out of the mating market. And we always kind of, and this goes to your bailiwick, kind of portray men as the predators and the idiots and they just got their act together. There's something strange going on in that is online dating. When a woman can go out with a guy, a high status male, and I'll put forward this thesis and I want you to respond to it. She can have sex with him, which gives her the impression that's her weight class for a relationship. but he's not interested in a relationship. And then she basically decides the bottom 90 are no longer in her weight class. And you can't tell a woman to lower her expectations, but the reality is, and what the data I've seen on dating apps is that all of the women want the same few guys and they shut out the rest.
Yeah. Okay. So there's.
So y'all heard that, right? I say this on this platform all the time. Women tend to want the top 20% of guys. You can say it's 80-20, you can say it's 90-10, you can say it's 95-5, you can say whatever you want to say, but basically, there's a minority of men who are highly sought after by the majority of women out there. And we live in a time where there's no shame, right? So what do women do? They're gonna turn right to the sex. A woman sees a high status man or a dude that she perceived as high status. She's gonna talk to that guy. That guy has the pick of the litter. He can do what he wants, when he wants, with whoever he wants. That's the top tier dude. That's the dude driving the exotic car. You know, that's the dude living in a real big house. That's the dude who's, you know, got the bottles in the section. That's the dude who's got the boat. That's the dude. I mean, that's the guy. That's the guy who's down there courtside at the games. That's the guy who's on the sideline at the football games. You know, that's the dude. That's the guy that everyone wants to talk to. All the men are lining up, talking to him, shaking his hand, want to do business with this guy. All the women are trying to holler at this dude, trying to get a date, right? That dude, and he get to smash anybody he want to smash. Right? He's in a very small cohort. He fits in the minority. Every woman wants him. His standards aren't the same as the woman's standard. That dude is happy just going out smashing. He's okay with that. Oh, you want me to take you to dinner with me? You come to dinner with me. But we're gonna have some fun when this is over. We're gonna go back to the penthouse and we're gonna get it in. And if she says no, he moves on to the next one. Trust me, there's a woman out there, most women out there will say yes, they want to be with this guy. In her mind, she thinks, I done smashed and I had sex with this guy. So, like he said, I qualify for this type of man. Now she's really not looking below her because she thinks they're all below her. When in fact, she might be a 6 or a 7. And her counterpart, the guy that's a 6 or a 7, she ain't looking at him. She's looking up at the 9s and 10s. And that's where we are now in the dating market. And then you have young girls who go out, they don't even really care about the money as much. Some of these young girls, they just want a good experience. And, oh, I like him. He makes me laugh. He's funny. And they go back to the crib or whatever, and they do whatever with the guy, and they move on to the next one. And they're having fun in their 20s. Why? Because they're at their peak in the sexual marketplace. They're young. They're beautiful. Not a whole lot of baggage yet. Not a lot of emotional scars. They just out there having a good time. But then they start to get to the end of their 20s. They start to get into their 30s. It's like, uh-oh, I need to find me a mate. And who does she want? That top tier dude that smashed her on some random night on a boat somewhere or at somebody's party. And she's trying to, hey, big head, what are you up to? That guy now in his 30s, into his 40s, he's coming into his prime. Now he's peaking, right? So her value in the sexual marketplace is going down while his value in the sexual marketplace is going up. The more money he makes, the more clout he has, the more sought after he is. So this is the problem. The red pill, the manosphere guys have been talking about this forever. Now you got people in mainstream media like Scott Galloway talking about this, and whoever this lady is talking about this. You know, you got NBC, CBS, ABC, CNN, all of them talking about this. Now it's a problem. They're trying to figure this out. What's the answer? The answer lies with women. Ladies, you're going to have to just somehow correct for the financial part in your mate selection, in my personal opinion. Not all women are like this. There are women out there who really don't care how much you make. Not all women have this component locked in their head. Or if they do, they're able to overcome that somehow, find themselves a good man and settle down and, you know, start a family or whatever it is they're going to do. Ladies, that's where you're going to have to boil down to that, right? It's going to boil down to that. You see the top tier dude out there and you want to make your run at him, go ahead, make your run, take your shot. But if you don't lock him down, and you'll know if you've locked him down for real or he's just keeping you around to smash. If you haven't locked him down, you need to let that go and go find you a guy on your level. Simple as that. Simple as that. At least that's my take on it. I will probably break down this podcast, this episode on I Really Want to Know. Yeah, I probably will like do a show. So be looking for that thumbnail probably next week. Later on today, and this is what is it? It's March 31st right now. So later on today, I'm gonna do the second part of the James Sexton interview on Flagrant. I'm gonna do part 2 to that video. I've already did one part. I'm gonna do the second part, continue talking about that. And he talks about prenups, he talks about marital law and why people need to understand how it works. So be looking for that. That'll be today, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hopefully you guys will be there. And I think there'll be a part 3 on Thursday at 5 p.m. Because this is a 2-hour and 40-minute interview, and I wanted to go through the whole thing. So it's probably going to be 3 parts. So part 2 will be today. Part 3 will be on Thursday. Appreciate you guys rocking out with me. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'll definitely link this video so you guys can watch this interview as well. And again, remember, looking for a good cigar bar in the Tampa area, check out Elena's over here in Town and Country. Shout out to Will Golston. That's the owner of Elena's. Their grand opening is April 4th, Friday, April 4th. The grand opening is sold out, RSVP only. But like I said, if you want more information, hit me up on Instagram. I'll send you the information. There might be some single tickets available. We'll see. But that said, I'm DL saying I'm going to talk to y'all later. Peace.